happening. Let's go on to Lance Lambert here, another housing economist that I respect immensely, and I think he's got a lot of insightful stuff here. I think he's got some more data, which I like to call very Saied relevant. It's very negative. Housing affordability is the story. The fastest deterioration. Yeah. Deterioration.
You got it. Nailed it.
I feel like I put the extra R's in there. Rah.
We don't like the R's.
Yeah. Fastest deterioration ever, 2021 to 2023. If U.S. income spiked 69%, okay, we'd return to pre-pandemic housing affordability. Income would have to go up 69% to get the same affordability you saw pre-pandemic.
So what's wrong with Lance? Why do you have to stick to 69? He could have rounded that shit up.
Nope.
Could have rounded down. He had to stick to that.
Just being factual.
He knows what he's doing.
Don't get mad at him.
Come on, Lance.
If U.S. housing prices fell 41%, we'd return to pre-pandemic housing affordability.
Back to the pre-pandemic stuff.
I know you hate it, but there's some value here.
Yeah.
Pre-pandemic, 41% down. That's how if home prices fell down to 41%.
Yeah.
Then you would get the similar affordability we had pre-pandemic.
But that's not going to happen.
Not going to happen. Wages aren't going to go up 69% either.
Nope.
So let's go to option 3, shall we?
Yeah, what's option 3?
If mortgage rates fell more than 4 percentage points, we'd return to pre-pandemic housing affordability. That would be rates of about 3%, kids.
So how many times would the Fed need to cut, even though there's not a direct correlation, right? But there would need to be that'd be some stimulus, and, there'd be some positive outlook on the future, meaning the 10-year would have to come down, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, how long until that happens?
You couldn't cut deep enough.
Nope.
Yeah. Keep in mind, rates were at or near zero at Fed funds targets to get to 3% mortgage rates.
Yes.
So you would be completely reversing course entirely in order to get back to that level of affordability. So let's be factual about some things. 3 things I can guarantee you are not going to happen. Number 1, your wages are likely not going to go up 69% unless you did something very, very different than what you're doing today. Number 1. Number 2, U.S. home prices are not likely to fall 41% where you live. Sure, some outliers, maybe, but very uncommon, very improbable. Okay. And you're not going to see the Fed completely cut rates by the entire amount they increase it in the distant future or near future or ever, any future for that matter. A combination of all 3 would be nice. Your wages went up a little bit, your home prices fell a little bit, and mortgage rates fell down a little bit. But that is what I would like to call a perfect storm and improbable at best.
Maybe in 2026. Maybe. I know.
No.
Not good enough for you?
No.
You don't think so?
I think
three rate cuts this year, maybe hopefully 4 or 5 in 2025.
Until I see a cracking and a correction of some type of valuations in the markets, and this is both housing and the stock markets, I don't have a huge degree of confidence in us getting back to pre-pandemic level of affordability.
No.
That may be a lost cause, candidly. To be clear, the ifs don't mean that Mr. Lambert thinks that these are possible paths. Instead, it's how far the given metric would have to shift in order to return to housing affordability to its historic norms. And Haroon, if you could be so kind as to give me some chart work. Thank you very much, sir. Exhibit 32, significant adjustments in house prices, mortgage rates, and incomes will be required to return to affordability back to the pre-COVID averages. He talks about U.S., Germany, New Zealand, Canada, the U.K., Australia, Japan, Sweden, and Korea. So certainly not a unique trait to the United States. This is a worldwide problem. Now, I will say at the top of the list of housing prices, 41% U.S. Top of income correction at 69% U.S. Top of mortgage rate correction, 4.3% mortgage rates, the U.S.
Wow.
The next close is Germany at a 36% housing price decrease, a 60% income drop, and a 3.4% mortgage rates drop. And to give you the baseline, Korea at the very bottom here of this same list, you have to have house prices go down 11%, incomes go up 22%, or mortgage rates drop just a single 1%. So we are 4 times worse than them on mortgage rates. We are 3 times worse than them on income, and we are 4 times worse than them on home prices.
And here's the other problem with this. What you might start hearing, because there have been some rumblings that one way to fix this issue is that the 30-year fixed rate mortgage is outdated.
Yeah.
It's, we've had this for too long now, and we can all see that none of this is going to happen. So let's go ahead and increase it to 40 years. So if you stretch out the amount of years, so add on 10 more years, that would significantly drop everyone's mortgage payment, meaning that they can now afford. But what's the problem with that, Chris?
Well, just like the three-point line in the NBA, you can move it closer as people make more shots. And then people start getting really good at making shots.
Yeah.
And then you go, shit, let's move it back to where it was. That was a good idea. They should have just gotten better.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like that, just because you move the average mortgage duration to 40 years does not mean that you're solving for the problem. It means you're just delaying the problem until that becomes unaffordable.
Actually, that'll become an even bigger problem, because I think the average person buys and sells 4 or 5 homes in their lifetime.
I think that's going to change, though.
Yeah, that's going to have to change, right? Like, you're probably going to it's going to go drop down to maybe 2, 3, if that.